The woman strutted into the pet store with an arrogant gait, making an excessive request of the boy on the floor.
Mind if I touch your wiener?
What?
Your dog.
The boy realized that he had misunderstood, but things were not that simple. After some conversation, Percy learned Maddie wanted to adopt a pet dog, so he took her to the office to register. But as soon as they entered the office, Maddie started making moves. She claimed she was too far from Percy for convenient information registration. While Percy appeared calm on the outside, inside he was panicking. To hide his embarrassment, he chose to ignore it. But Maddie keeps flirting verbally, leaving the 19-year-old Percy completely flustered.
Oh, what? Already?
He hurriedly said the shop was about to close, telling Maddie to come back another day.
I might not want a dog another day. I want a dog right now.
Hearing Maddie's irresponsible statement, Percy decided she wasn't suitable for dog ownership. After all, companionship is the confession of the steadfast, while fickleness is the shield of the promiscuous. Whether in life or dog ownership, one needs dedication and care. Hearing Percy say this, Maddie immediately changed the subject.
How about I give you a ride home and we can keep talking? You're on the way.
How do you know where I live?
Just as Percy was filled with confusion, Maddie had already picked up his backpack. Left with no choice, Percy could only comply. Just outside, he was dumbstruck because Maddie drove a car reminiscent of kidnappers, making Percy doubt the whole situation. But Maddie didn't waste any words.
Oh, come on, I won't bite. Unless you want me to.
Percy was intimidated by Maddie's presence. Finally, he reluctantly got into the car. Once in the car, Percy wanted to talk about life and dog ownership. But before they'd driven far, he sensed something wrong. He first looks at Maddie, then turns to the back seat.
This isn't the way to my house.
It's a shortcut.
Seeing the tools there, Percy instantly thinks Maddie is a kidnapper. So he quickly messaged his mother to call the police. But before the message sent, Maddie snatched his phone. Now Percy was completely panicked. He was certain he'd been kidnapped. When the car stopped, Percy planned to save himself.
Me in a van and you took my phone!
If I were kidnapping you, would it give you all my personal information first? Why couldn't you have used your rape whistle?
Why would I have a rape whistle?
Why do you have mace?
After Maddie's explanation, Percy gradually lowered his guard. It seemed he really had overthought things. To make up for his mistake, he took the hose to rinse Maddie's eyes, but in his fluster, he sprayed water all over her instead. Percy apologized profusely, but he couldn't understand why Maddie insisted on driving him home. Maddie said helplessly she was simply attracted by his good looks. She hadn't thought Percy would take it seriously, but he actually believed it, smugly admitting he was handsome. To make amends to Maddie, Percy offered to take her on a date tomorrow. Little did he know, this seemingly lovely encounter today was entirely orchestrated by others. Maddie was a taxi driver, navigating the town's streets daily, relying on hard work to make a living. But fate seemed against her. Long overdue property taxes weighed heavily. And finally, a court seizure order silently took away her old car. That car was her only way to pay the property taxes. Losing it meant Maddie would soon lose her house. Just as she felt cornered, an unusual job advertisement appeared. The ad was placed by a wealthy couple seeking young women to help their college-bound son end his single life. In return, the applicant would receive a car. When Maddie first saw the ad, she was shocked and hesitant because it sounded absurd, even unethical. But it could solve her immediate problem. To save the house her mother left her, Maddie ultimately accepted the seemingly ridiculous task. The next day, she donned her roller skates and headed to the wealthy family's home. Upon entering, she saw the car that would soon be hers. Then she met the Beckers. The couple immediately asked Maddie's age. Learning Maddie was over 30, the couple flatly refused.
Because young girls are idiots. It's not their fault. They're young. But this is your son we're talking about. What you need is someone who looks like a peer, but has the maturity to be able to handle this with the tact and sensitivity the situation requires.
Hearing this, Maddie's argument seemed reasonable, so the Beckers decided to let her try. They first explained their son had social anxiety, was overprotected throughout childhood, lived like a turtle in its shell, couldn't speak a full sentence to the opposite sex, and had strong musical talent he never dared show. Then, They gave Maddie the task requirements. Their son couldn't find out, and the interaction had to feel natural. Maddie thought it sounded easy, claiming she could handle it effortlessly. But Maddie never dreamed this deliberately arranged encounter would utterly change her life. The next evening, they met at a bar. Percy came very prepared this time. Suit jacket for protection, shorts for easy escape. This mismatched outfit looked downright bizarre at first glance. It being his first date, Percy acted extremely awkwardly, unsure where to put his hands and feet. And when Maddie asked Percy what he wanted to drink,
It's just that I'm not 21.
That doesn't matter here.
Well, I think it's a federal law.
seeing Percy's timid demeanor, Maddie's smile instantly froze, but to complete her task, she maintained surface-level enthusiasm. Since Percy couldn't decide, Maddie summoned the waiter and ordered a drink for him. After all, with some alcohol, things might go smoother. After drinking, they went to the beach. Maddie suggested swimming, secretly planning to achieve her goal. But Percy said,
Oh, no swimming. Maddie.
I'm ugly to you. I knew it. I knew it.
What? No, I think you're the prettiest person I've ever seen.
Seeing Percy was getting into it, Maddie jumped into the water, but the timid Percy still didn't dare go in.
Just get the right now!
Okay.
This way, Maddie successfully lured Percy into the water. Just as Maddie was about to make her move, 3 drunks showed up out of nowhere and tried to take Maddie and Percy's clothes. Percy's first thought is to go ashore and call the police, but Maddie isn't one to back down. Swiftly, she went ashore and fiercely beat the 3 drunkards, retrieving their clothes in no time. Percy watched, dumbfounded, completely scared by Maddie's actions. He even scolded her for using violence. Hearing this, Maddie's anger flared. At that moment, Maddie's patience was utterly exhausted. She felt that she was merely wasting her time, unwilling to engage in such trivial matters, planning to drive away. Just then, Percy realizes his phone is missing and stops Maddie, hoping she'll help look for it. But Maddie, in her anger, ignored him, getting ready to drive off the next moment. But his trick had no effect on Maddie. She still started the car. Unfortunately, this scene was witnessed by passing police. A red light flashed ahead at the railway crossing. A train was coming. To avoid a suspended license if caught by police, Maddie gritted her teeth. Percy had never experienced such thrills before. Even after entering Maddie's house, he remained dazed. Maddie seized the moment. She planned to achieve her goal that very night. However, Percy felt uneasy in the unfamiliar environment, saying he needed to adjust first and suggesting playing some small games to warm up. But suddenly, Percy started itching inexplicably. Maddie quickly lifted his shirt to look, seeing red rashes covering his back. These rashes were actually an allergic reaction triggered by anxiety from being around Maddie. Seeing Percy like this, Maddie had to postpone her plan. Like a caring mother, she gently applied ointment to him.
I'm so embarrassed.
Don't be.
I don't really have a lot to smile about. I can barely leave my room.
Well, I've lived in this house my whole life.
Really?
Everything I need is here. And my mom got sick, so I stayed to take care of her.
Why couldn't your dad do it?
Maddie didn't answer that question, perhaps not wanting to discuss much with Percy, or perhaps it involved painful experiences. So they talked, sharing embarrassing stories from their pasts. After Percy shared his own cringe-worthy tales, Maddie finally understood this boy couldn't be conquered forcefully. Perhaps kindness and friendliness were the key to his heart. So in the following days, Maddie changed her strategy. She would walk with Percy on the beach, feeling the sea breeze, walking the dog. She also took Percy to the arcade, enjoying fun amidst electronic sounds. As they spent more time together, Percy's lively, adorable side emerged. The distance between them closed amidst laughter. Finally, during a certain moment, Percy seemed to understand something and prepared a gift for Maddie. But Maddie hadn't brought a gift. To match sincerity with sincerity, Maddie shared stories she rarely told. It turned out Maddie's biological father was a famously wealthy man. Before she was born, he came to the city as a tourist. During his travels, he met her mother, and then she was conceived. Unexpectedly, this wealthy man already had a family. To sever ties with Maddie and her mother completely, he spent heavily hiring the city's top lawyers, successfully cutting all ties, leaving only a house for them to barely survive. Percy listened quietly to Maddie's story. His heart was full of sympathy.
Can I kiss you?
Long mist warmth surged within her. Unconsciously, Maddie's face flushed red. From this moment, things take an unexpected turn. Percy then invited Maddie to dinner, but he needed to prepare first. Returning home, he changed into a proper suit and had the butler bring out the stretch limousine. To avoid interruptions, Percy didn't even bring his phone. He wanted to be fully present for the date. Later, they went to the town's fanciest restaurant. Maddie spotted a piano and eagerly encouraged Percy to play. However, Percy refused outright, afraid of embarrassing himself in public. But when he met Maddie's expectant gaze, his heart instantly melted. Then Percy took a deep breath and walked towards the piano with heavy steps. And the performance that followed was the film's most stunning part.
Watching and waiting. Oh, she's sitting with you, but her eyes are on the door.
This was Maddie's favorite song, and she had only mentioned it to Percy once. She never expected him to remember it. Maddie was utterly stunned. Percy, for Maddie, overcame his inner fears, and at the same time, he used this song to express the love between them. In this moment, Maddie's heart was completely lost. But the beautiful atmosphere was quickly shattered when Percy's classmate Natalie suddenly appeared. She was also going to Princeton, and they chatted happily while Maddie was left out. Maddie knew she had met her match, so she could only force an awkward smile. Natalie seized the moment, saying many Princeton students were throwing a party and she intended to invite Percy. Maddie, on the other hand, made a sharp retort to Natalie, leaving Natalie with no choice but to leave in disappointment. After Natalie left, Maddie and Percy talked about long-distance relationships. Percy expressed he'd return on weekends to be with Maddie, but Maddie knew their relationship was only a transaction, so she said,
Well, I don't have a car.
But you could take the train. It's only 5 hours.
Yeah, I don't do long distance.
Percy was momentarily lost after hearing Maddie's response. He couldn't fathom what Maddie wanted. Was love so fragile in Maddie's mind? Heartbroken, Percy turned to leave, and seeing this, Maddie chased after him. Once in the car, Percy remained silent, reached for a bottle of alcohol, and began drinking heavily. Afterwards, Percy went to the party Natalie mentioned and got out of the car alone. But Maddie's heart was a turmoil of emotions. She kept trying to convince herself that Percy needed this kind of social space. However, deep within, a budding affection like a newly sprouted seed grew wildly. She couldn't ignore Percy falling into someone else's arms. The moment she entered the party, she felt uncomfortable. The youthful energy radiating from those young girls felt like a silent mockery to her. Every second was agony. She needed to find Percy quickly and escape this suffocating place. So she pushed open door after door but couldn't find Percy until she discovered a locked door. She was certain Percy was inside, so she stepped back to get a running start.
Did you? Oh my god!
Maddie burst into the room with fierce determination, and Natalie quickly explained that nothing had happened because Percy insisted on taking his anti-inflammatory pills on time. Drinking alcohol with anti-inflammatory pills, Maddie quickly takes Percy to the toilet, trying to help him vomit. But just then, the party host suddenly rushed in, saying Maddie was way too old and demanding she leave immediately. Hearing this, Maddie snapped. She snapped back fiercely at the host, neither backing down. Then, amidst the chaos, Percy suddenly sobered up.
Touch me!
On the way home, Maddie stared blankly out the car window, while Percy spoke his mind.
I just want you to know I would never hurt you.
I know.
Then Percy said he was ready, and so Maddie decided to complete her task right there in the car. But the next moment, I love you. Percy's confession threw Maddie's emotions into disarray. She knew the sincere Percy had developed real feelings for her, and she feared the immense hurt he would face once the truth came out. That night, Maddie couldn't sleep. After a night of thinking, she decided to abandon the task. But the gears of fate are always full of irony, and over at Percy's, a storm had already erupted. He solemnly approached his parents, expressing his desire to practice driving with the family car before getting a license. When they asked why, he excitedly said he had a girlfriend and wanted to take her for drives. His parents offered congratulations, but deep down, they had expected this. However, Percy's next words hit the Becker couple like a bolt from the blue. Percy said a long-distance relationship would strain things with Maddie, so he decided to give up going to Princeton. As these words left his mouth, the room fell into a deathly silence. This is Princeton, a top-tier university that countless people dream of attending, yet their son is about to give up this rare opportunity because of a relationship. Yet the Beckers didn't say much. They told Percy to go practice driving in the garage first. After Percy left, they called Maddie. The Beckers said no, Maddie's task must continue, only the goal changed. She must find a way to convince Percy to go to Princeton.
So if I can convince him to go to Princeton, I get the car? I don't have to have sex with him anymore?
Hello, Maddie? Hello?
Hello?
A sense of despair like never before washed over Percy. He couldn't believe that someone he had trusted had been deceiving him all along. Percy felt like a fool, played like a puppet. At that moment, his heart felt dead. Anger and resentment churned inside, finally turning into a desire for revenge. He secretly arranged for Maddie to come to his house. The moment she entered, his father's expression froze. At the dinner table, Percy made sarcastic remarks, his words sharp as knives.
I didn't get the dates wrong. I just wanted to introduce you to them, but I didn't know how to explain how old you are.
But things weren't that simple. Percy excused himself to make a call, but secretly contacted a friend to destroy Maddie's car.
She's gonna hate not having it.
Satisfied, he returned home. Seeing Percy silently return to his bedroom, Maddie followed, full of worry. And Percy gave Maddie one last chance.
If there's something I don't know, just tell me.
No.
After hearing her, Percy didn't say much. Instead, he naturally initiated intimacy with Maddie. Afterwards, he told Maddie he knew everything and that he had smashed up her car.
What?
Was any of it real?
Yes. I was just trying to save my house. It wasn't personal.
It felt personal to me.
Percy, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You should go.
But Percy, in his anger, wouldn't listen. His eyes were full of disappointment and rage, leaving Maddie no choice but to leave.
I'm gonna lose my house. And I don't have a rich dad that can help me.
Actually, Maddie, you do. And you're gonna waste your entire life in that house waiting for him to come back and apologize. Because that's really why you never made it past New York, right?
Then Maddie went to the beach, her tears mingling with guilt and disillusionment. She had approached Percy under the guise of helping him grow, but she had gradually become lost in the purity of their connection. When the truth came out, she realized she hadn't just deceived Percy. She had betrayed her own yearning for authenticity. Perhaps Percy was right. She'd been fixated on securing the house, but subconsciously, she still held hopes for her father. The compromises made for the house ultimately became knives that stabbed at her. Early the next morning, as dawn broke, a tow truck brought Maddie's car. Looking at the battered car, Maddie felt utterly helpless, but she started it anyway. She understood that life must go on, and days must pass one by one. Even if the car was damaged, it could still carry passengers. As time passed, Maddie, through her own efforts, finally paid off the property tax debt. As for Percy, after all that happened, he completely awakened. He decided to break free from his parents' overprotection and start living independently. However, Maddie's life faced another unexpected blow. While celebrating paying off the property tax with her friend, the friend suddenly said they planned to move away. Because housing was too expensive here, and with a baby coming, they needed a stable place. The thought of her only friend leaving filled Maddie with helplessness and confusion. Returning home that night, Maddie found someone random, hoping to ease the exhaustion of the past few days. But she suddenly realized that since being with Percy, she couldn't go back to her old way of life. It also solidified a decision within her. She took out a letter from the drawer. It was one she wrote to her biological father as a child, carefully preserved all these years, never discarded. Now, she decided to let go of this obsession. She set it on fire. The next day, Maddie sold her house to her friend at a low price, fixed her car, and decided to go reclaim her love. She called Percy countless times, but he never answered. Maddie didn't give up. She went straight to Percy's building and asked the butler about his whereabouts. Learning Percy was at a classmate's party, she rushed to the location without hesitation. After searching, she finally found Percy, but he avoided her, clearly still hurt by the earlier deception. Just as Percy prepared to drive away, Maddie imitated his earlier act, jumping onto the hood.
Easy! Fuck! This is scary!
Get off the hood of my
In that moment, Percy panicked. The once timid boy rushed into the sea without hesitation. After they safely got back to shore, Maddie apologized to Percy once more. They embrace and cry deeply. Once calm returned, Maddie told Percy she had truly let go of the past, not only burning the letter to her father, but also selling the house full of memories to her friend. She even made plans for the future with Percy. She would rent a place near Princeton so they could live together. Percy would attend classes during the day, and she would drive her taxi. They would support each other and build a new life together. Hearing this, Percy also felt full of hope and excitement for the future. The day of departure came quickly. Percy told his parents not to see him off, as he was grown now and should face things alone. Though reluctant, his parents respected his decision. After a brief but heartfelt goodbye with his parents, Percy turned to leave. But just as he stepped outside, he saw Maddie had been waiting for him for quite some time. Maddie also brought a new companion, her adopted puppy, which happened to be Percy's favorite dog. This undoubtedly added a vibrant touch to their trip. With this warmth and anticipation, they set off. As Percy and Maddie drove further down the highway in that beat-up Buick, it seemed to whisper that in this absurd world, only authentic emotional connections give our existence meaning.